We're going to call the meeting to order, the Marketing Committee with Visit South Walton, TDC. Let the record show that we have a quorum in attendance today. Am I coming up with the right agenda? I'm not. At this time, do we have any public comment on agenda items? Speak now. Okay. We're going to move right along with the approval of the minutes. And I'm going to give everybody just a few minutes to peruse if you hadn't had a chance to. Any discussion of the minutes? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And the minutes pass. We're going to move right along to new business, and this is exciting new business. Mr. Tusa?
Yeah, just real quick. I think Mike Kerrigan sent all of you an email before he departed the TDC. If he did not, I will certainly let you know now that he has left the TDC for another opportunity with St. Joe. So that was about 2 weeks ago. So in the interim, I've asked David Demarest to fill in his place as marketing director as well as communications director. So David will be handling the TDC's business for the meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to introduce Kat from the Zinder Corporation. Come over, give us a preview of the new website.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Like David said, Catherine Andry from Zinder. As you probably know, we've been working on developing the new South Walton website. So we are looking at a spring launch, so you're getting kind of a sneak preview of it today. It is still on a stage site, not completely complete, but wanted to share it with you guys and answer any questions you might have. So we'll first start with the new homepage. So this is our homepage. You'll see our navigation is bold. It starts with our beach neighborhoods. So asking our visitors to explore the beach neighborhoods. We have our plan your trip section, which will allow them to enter their details about their trip. It'll bring up events that are happening at that time. It'll bring up blog articles that we have about that time of year, just to help them plan what they want to do when they're in town. And then we have things to do, which will go through all of our activities. We also have our utility nav at the top and our dine and stay, since we know, obviously, accommodations are very important to book before you get here. And then we know that our visitors are also very interested in dining. So just going to scroll down so that you can see we have some call outs here as well. And then we have our beach neighborhoods. And then you can toggle through all of them here. We have this section also here encouraging people to put your feet in the sand and showing them how easy it is to get here. So this section actually will change based on the user's IP address. So if they are coming from a fly market, it will show flights coming to the destination. If they're coming from a drive market, it will show the drive time. We'll have our accommodations booking there. We have a dining call out. And then we'll have some just content articles. We have some user-generated content. And then our footer, where obviously you can get the visitor guide, sign up for the e-newsletter, and then have our social links. One really great feature of this site, as you see, the water kind of moves on the homepage. But one thing is it's also dynamic. So if you are coming to the site in the morning, you get a sunrise photo. If you're coming to the site in the evening, you get a sunset photo. And if you're coming to the site at night, you get a nighttime photo. So it's adapting to when the user is searching the site. And then, of course, once they start to explore more, they'll see daytime photos if they're there at the night. Wanted to share one of our beach neighborhood pages. This will be mirrored across all of them. But we have our call out, obviously. So we're looking at Alice now. A little short description of the neighborhood. We have the perfect if you like on the side. That mirrors what we have on our current website as well. And then if you go to the beach neighborhood landing page on this site, you'll be able to filter neighborhoods based on what you're interested in. So if you're interested in family time, or you're interested in a couple's getaway, or you're interested in walkability, you can filter the neighborhoods based on what you're interested in, so that then you can figure out which one you want to stay in. We have these snapshots or galleries across all of the neighborhood pages. We also have call outs here that just talk a little bit more about the things to do in that neighborhood. We have our While You're Here section that goes through some of our content articles. And then we have another call out of things to do in the destination. You're able to put a video on that page too, if you'd like. Our accommodations. And then obviously we want our users to explore other beach neighborhoods. So you can click throughout the map and explore the beach neighborhoods, or look at them based on the names down here and short descriptions as well. Also wanted to show you guys our events page. We know that events are a big driver in South Walton as well. So here we have some Greek copy, but that will be updated. And then we have like a festival insider or some kind of content article that's going to tell people about the events we have throughout the year. We have the events going on this week, so you know immediately what's happening now. And then we have sections. So we have our top annual events, which will be our signature events, and then we'll have our featured flag. You can search for events, so select the dates you're going to be in town, which neighborhood you're going to be staying in, what activities you're interested in, and it'll suggest events for you. And then we also have the sections of events: music, food and beverage, sports, and arts and culture. And then actually at the very bottom, we also have our submit your event page. So if anybody is on the website, is in the destination, is having an event, they can submit their event on the website as well. And then to share what the event specific page looks like, here is an example. So you have the title, obviously, photo, the description, and then all of the event details as well. And then with this gallery feature, we can also create custom galleries for each event and show photos from that event from previous years so people can experience it as they're looking as well. And then we'll have related events as well to show other things that you might want to do if you are interested in that one event. So we are also currently working on the functionality of the Plan Your Trip section. That is a big focus right now. And then, as I mentioned, we're looking at a spring launch, hopefully for the site, looking at adding the booking accommodations and everything as well. So that's just our sneak preview. Wanted to open it up for any questions that you guys might have at this point. We are also going to do some user testing to make sure that people can find what they're looking for, just like we did on the old site, to figure out where our problem areas were, make sure that we've made the correct design decisions and the correct navigation decisions and things like that, so people can really find what they're trying to do on the site.
Will there be any opportunities for our guests that are actually staying in the area to actually upload their own personal pictures of particular beaches or particular activities to kind of keep that, engagement going?
That will be functioned through the CrowdRiff platform. So if somebody tags any of the beach neighborhoods or any certain hashtags in the area, it will populate on that bottom portion of the homepage. And so that'll be part of our social media efforts as well, where we're telling people, make sure you tag us, your photos can show up on the website and things like that.
Those will be approved photos.
Yes. There will be an approval process.
Can you go back to the homepage,
Sure.
please? So are you going to have like an area at the bottom of the homepage you just alluded to where the photos would be?
Right. So right here.
That would be.
Yes. And so you can click you'll be able to click and see all of those as well, all of those photos.
So as
And
you
Instagram.
scroll down, is that one way to navigate, and then you've also got the tabs at the top to navigate individual pages?
It doesn't navigate to the individual pages on the homepage.
Okay.
It just has call-out sections.
Okay.
But it does feature all of the prominent portions of the site. So you can look for accommodations here, you can check out dining here. We wanted to make sure that if somebody is scrolling through the homepage, that we're giving them everything that they're looking for, but also that they can use the navigation here as well.
Is there a search button feature?
Yes, so we have the search up here, and that will function, so you can just type in any words and it'll search the entire site and bring up the search results.
I noticed the neighborhoods were vertical scrolling, so on the mobile device, is it obviously vertical scrolling, but just with arrows?
Yes, yes, and it responds to the finger swipe as well.
How far along are we with the booking system?
It's going to go before the board at the next board meeting. As long as it gets approval there, then we're good to go. And we've taken that before several meetings and shopped it around with our partners. We've talked to the Jackrabbit folks or the other TDCs that use Jackrabbit to make sure that they're happy with it. So it does have good support from our partners and throughout the community. And they just were recently acquired by SimpleView, which is the company we already work with. So there ought to be some fairly seamless transition there.
So you said you reached out to some partners to, work with them to, I guess, on navigation and content and all that. Is it actually a booking engine?
No, I slip up and say that every now and then. I think it's a portal. So it's complete pass-through. We incur the subscription fee, but our partners don't lose any money on it. They don't subscribe to it. They don't take out a percentage. It's actually booked straight through their website. So the partners update their own website, and the Jackrabbit portal reads what's on their website and pulls it through to find the available rates at certain dates. But all the purchases will happen on the partner's webpage, so no transactional fees.
And will you be doing beta testing on it with partners or that maybe that's what you have been doing, but just for functionality and?
I think that'll be a continuously ongoing process.
Okay.
It just really, worst case scenario is that it will redirect to the site, but that's not necessarily the best case scenario for us. We want it to work where it all shows through, but nevertheless, it would always click through to the partner website, so it would redirect in that way. But they have, I think, 350 different companies different booking companies that they work with, and they have promised us that any new ones that we might have, they'll be able to integrate. And we put out a call to our partners and asked them, which systems do you use? And then we took the responses from that and made sure that Jackrabbit could work with all of those, and there weren't any problems.
So are you interfacing directly with the properties here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One of the reasons that came up was through all the VRBO is giving a lot of people a hard time. So when we had our first VRBO meeting, which was I think over a year ago, to listen and ask some questions about what we could do to help, one of the directions we were pushed in was that if we could put something on our own website, that we'd be able to put money behind pushing out that that message that you can book here, and it won't. Our partners won't face any fees. That was something that was very valuable to our accommodation partners, and this is something we've vetted fairly thoroughly to make sure that it's going to work and people will be happy. And again, Amelia Island's using it, Breckenridge, Colorado, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, lots of partners across the country.
I've actually personally used VRBO to advertise in the
Mhm.
past, and they become very difficult,
Mhm.
and they almost are too proprietary where they are locking in information. They've opened up for something like this to happen,
Mhm.
where someone's going to do exactly this, and should. So it should be very successful,
And,
given,
and that's mirrored by our other partners. It's
Mhm.
taking away their ability to make a profit, but another danger is they're standing in the middle of the guests and the final property. And, you know, the property, it's getting to where your property logo won't be shown, your contact information won't be shown. They're responding to your guests on your behalf. And that, for us, is a danger, because we can talk about how we in South Walton want to present our destination and how we want to treat our guests and the experience we want to curate. But if our representative is a VRBO employee, we don't really have that connection to them. So, and even the VRBO staff who have come have essentially said, you know, use VRBO, get them through us for the first time, and if the second time they come to us again, then shame on you. You know, essentially, you should do such a good job welcoming your guests and connecting with your guests and getting your contact information in front of the guests that's the route they go. And our partners can also, you know, at that juncture, choose whether or not they can throw in, you know, bonus activities or discounted rates, because it is much more profitable that way.
So once Jackrabbit goes live, presuming it will, is there an effort marketing-wise to, I know there's an effort to get folks to our beautiful new website,
Website.
thank you, but
Yes,
that it is now
yeah.
a booking site?
Mhm.
Jay has discussed ways that we can start ramping up that push, and, you know, it also allows us to, if we so choose, to put more money behind a book direct campaign.
I just want to address that real quick. So we have talked about that, and one of the things that we mentioned was, as we plan our budget for next year, to work with Zender to see if we can put some money behind that book direct message, and, you know, through digital or social, and push people to our channel, so they can go then as a portal to these different partners' websites. So it is certainly on our radar. While our budget's already set this year, we'll see what we can carve out once the site gets going, but we'll definitely put money specifically in there next year's budget for that.
It seemed to be well perceived by the partners. The biggest question was the connectivity, and Jackrabbit seemed to be very confident that they could overcome any system that was not currently able to connect.
And they did seem confident, and we vetted them that way, but I think it was also important to go to other CVBs that were currently using them and hear what they had to say, and they were very positive as well.
Yep.
What's the goal for this to go live?
Spring.
Yep. David, do you know if in the steps of search for a property available, is there any data being ascertained by Jackrabbit that's not being, you know, private to TDC? Is it Florida? Is it South Walton, sorry?
No, there will be some information so that we can tell we'll be able to report how many guests, how many visitors we sent to which websites, and that sort of information.
But Jackrabbit's not gathering information.
No, not
that's like the email or any kind of data that could be important to keep golden for us.
We didn't foresee any
Okay.
dangers there.
That's always the
They did
question I
address it in the meeting when we came, and
Yeah.
I was reassured through that.
Mhm.
So the data that you collect at the end of each month, like your, you know, whatever you're measuring, your SEO, SEM, whatever is clicks to book, is that something you'll be sharing with the partners on a monthly basis, or?
Yes, with the individual partners.
Okay.
Do you mind going back up to the top buttons and let me see the drop downs? And the ones above that?
The ones above that
Yeah,
don't
there you go.
have the,
Oh, okay.
the
that's-
large drop downs,
doesn't have-
yes, so they'll just be individual pages.
They don't have drop down?
No.
Okay. And then plan your trip? Is that where was the map?
The map is further down on the homepage, and it will also be on Plan Your Trip.
Okay, and I didn't really look at that long enough to see, you have, directions, mileage, airports, all that stuff's gonna be on there?
Yes, so if your IP address shows that you're coming from a fly market, it'll say which flights are available and from which airports. And then if you're coming from a drive market, it'll tell you what the driving hours are.
What are you using as qualifications for drive versus fly?
Driving distance will be our top key markets that we see most people driving from. So these are our key markets at the moment. Typically, it's going to be less than a 10-hour drive. And we can also change that between seasons because we know that people will drive further in the summer than they will in the fall or winter. So for longer trips, obviously. And then fly is going to be anything outside of that.
So you'll find that information through Find Your Route?
Yes, so that will go, so you'll see the map here that will tell you some of that information, and then when you click Find Your Route, it'll tell you all of the flights into the destination, which airports, and then also drive times up to 10 hours.
Are we gonna take them to Delta.com or any other airline?
We hadn't planned on it.
Hmm?
We hadn't planned on it, no.
Just curious.
They pay us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's called paid advertising.
Valuable
Yeah.
real estate, right?
You had mentioned under the events page that there'll be opportunities for content articles. Is there any other place in the website where there's like content opportunities that will be getting updated regularly?
Yes, absolutely. So the Plan Your Trip section is going to be where most of that lives. Since you'll be able to search by your trip criteria, it'll populate with all of those content articles. Also on every beach neighborhood page, if there is a content article that we have written in the past or that we are writing in the future that has a specific beach neighborhood in it, it will be in that While You're Here section as suggested articles. And we can actually put that content module on any page. So any page of the website that we feel like is important to drive people further down the funnel into reading more content, especially activity pages and things like that, it will have content blocks on it.
Thank you.
Can you go to While You're Here, the While You're Here page?
Sure. It is on the beach neighborhood page. So we have that section here. And right now, these are placeholder articles. We're populating everything in, but it'll feature all of these articles that have tagged that specific beach neighborhood. And then when you go to view more, you can see everything that we have as far as content goes.
And how do you get to that page?
This is part of the beach neighborhood page. So if
Okay.
you're on a beach neighborhood,
Got it.
it'll be a module on that page.
And you had mentioned the ability to upload video. Is that on the individual?
Beach neighborhood
Beach
pages.
neighborhood
Yes.
pages?
Yes.
And so individuals will be able to, or partners will be able to load?
TDC staff will be able to load videos.
Got it.
So if there are any videos that we have on our YouTube page or any partner videos that we want to put on those sites, on those pages, we can. And then also we'll have our meetings video on the meetings page, our weddings video on the weddings page as well.
Will you show us an events page?
Sure. So this, we have the specific event you wanted to see?
No, I was actually just wondering if we have shareable features. So if somebody's on an event and they want to share it, just with the Seaside site, which is finished, I just added shareable features to events, and I can tell you that it really helps with driving traffic to our website.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
make
There
sure you
will
add
be, we will have the add this functionality, so you'll be able to share it on any social channel, all of the events, as well as any of the content articles.
Is there a certain criteria that events need to meet to be included? Or just what events will be included?
So the events that we have here are the signature and experience events, as well as the North Walton events. And then you can also, individuals can submit events on the website that will then be reviewed by TDC staff and then pushed live. Yes. Yeah. Any other
Where are
questions?
you putting, or are you putting your Perfect in South Walton award winners?
That will be part of the partners section as it is now. So when you go to the partner section, that will be part of it. And then we can also have, once those are announced, we'll have a homepage feature section of it as well. So any type of things like that, Perfect in South Walton Awards, Artist of the Year, anything like that, anything that's going to need to be featured on the website, you can add a new module that calls it out on that homepage. And then it would go to the page with all the winners.
Can you go to a partners page?
We don't have that
Okay.
developed yet.
So, the partners submit to you guys whatever information y'all are requesting, and the TDC looks over it?
Yes. So for the partner listings, will work the same way that they do now through Simple View. And then on the partner section of the website, that will be for all of the resources for the partners as it currently exists.
So all the different vacation rental companies have the opportunity, because they pay tax, they have the opportunity to list their properties on this site.
Correct.
There's just a input that they would be doing just like they would any other site.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just was thinking about our local third-party websites that do booking, and whether or not they would be a part of this, or would it be the one that's just specific to the vacation rental company itself? So if there is a vacation rental company like HOCO, for example, Homeowners Collection, and they use other booking systems, is there a way to integrate some of that so there's not duplication of effort? Just like specifically real estate, thinking about it like that, how you have the MLS and you can integrate IDX feeds. Is there ways to integrate other, to make it simplify it for the consumer and for the consumer of using this site? I mean,
The listings will be either through Jackrabbit or through the current Simple View system. So it would be entered on the Simple View system as it works now.
so will the partner pay Jackrabbit?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Does Jackrabbit pull from this for their listings, or do we also have to feed them pictures and descriptions of each individual?
Right.
I'm not a vacation rental hotel, but
Yeah.
My understanding is that it'll pull through your website. You've got to give them and I'm not incredibly technical, I think it's the API, to get it linked up, and then as you manage your website, it reflects the changes. So essentially, it's a window through to your website.
I could just imagine that being a lot of work, but I know that it's a good thing.
So are the partners pages the same that takes you to the booking portal?
We don't, because the booking portal isn't set up yet, we don't exactly know how that's going to work together. But if you are searching for accommodations and you put in your dates and your desired neighborhood even, that's when those search results pop up, and that will be through Jackrabbit. And then that person is directed to the partner's website to finalize that booking.
Okay, I'm just trying to clarify what the partners page is.
The partners page that I was referencing was the partners section of the website that has all of the assets that the TDC provides to the partners. So any kind of programs that we're running, any information that partners need as it currently exists on the site, when you go to partners, that's what's going to exist on this site.
Well, but that's where you had said like the awards, like Perfect in South Walton Awards would be on that partners page. And to me, that seems like something that, the real value is in the consumer being able to see that. So you'd want that somewhere where the consumer could get to it, not the partner.
What lives in the partners section currently, but what we would do is a homepage feature of it. And so that would be for the consumer, and then they would click through to it. They wouldn't know that it exists in a partner section. They would just see it on the homepage, click through, and see all of that information.
And where would that be on the homepage?
We would add another module to it. So if you look at,
I'm trying to figure out how to maximize the value of that because, you guys put a lot of work into that program.
yeah, absolutely. So where we have right here where foodies go for flavor, we can add another section above it, below it, or kind of anywhere on the homepage that calls out the Perfect in South Walton Awards.
I personally always promote, the value of participating in those awards, because you get, it's not just bragging rights, you get the promotional
Right.
value and might of the TDC behind it. So
Absolutely.
I
And we
wanna-
do social media
wanna
promotion
make sure
of
I'm
that too.
telling the truth.
Yes, you absolutely are. And we do social media promotion of that too, which also takes them directly to that page on the site that has all the winners. So there will be multiple ways for consumers to get to it.
Okay. Any other questions? Anybody want to see any other portion or see it again?
Are any of the utility map at the top, are any of those where we can see what any of those look like?
Not at the moment. We actually are working on, as I mentioned, we're working on Plan Your Trip. We're also working on meetings and weddings. One feature of meetings and weddings that we are working on with those simple view listings is allowing people to filter those as well, based on the size of their meeting, the size of their wedding, and things like that, so that we are giving them, you know, relevant results as well. So those are sections we're working on, hoping to have those finished in the next few weeks.
I could see those being very popular sections.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially the wedding one.
Well, the neighborhoods are listed in alphabetical or chronological or
They're listed in geographic order,
geographical?
west to east, yes.
I may be getting too technical, but if someone's searching for a weekend in June in Miramar Beach and I'm sold out, would I still show as an option, even though I will not, because I'm sold out, which is better for the consumer. They don't waste their time looking at me if they can't book.
No, but what if they don't know you even exist?
That's what I was thinking. They miss out.
Then you're just not ever gonna come up for them,
For that particular weekend.
for that particular weekend.
I don't need them. I need them next time. That was just a question I had.
What is this content management system?
It is a Zender proprietary content management system, and so it's just Zender's.
Okay, gotcha.
Very easy to use.
It looks good.
Nice
I'll
work.
pass that along
Very
to
Well,
my
the
team.
whole, I mean, you know, obviously a big part of what we were looking for and hoping for is just to simplify and really enhance the consumer experience and the navigation and reduce the number of pages and reduce going down the rabbit hole,
Mhm.
you know, so it looks like you guys have done a nice job of that.
I like the locator of Florida.
Making sure that right when they get to the site, they
They know
understand
where
where
they
we are.
It's just been something we talked about for a decade at least.
Yep. Where we are, who we are, and finding what you need easily. Those are our goals.
And really love the images and that they move and that they're
Yeah.
responsive to the
Mhm.
time of day. That's very,
The
very
time of
cool.
day
Yeah,
is
that's
kind of
cool.
Very
where-
cool. So it'd be funny if you go on in the morning and then you go on it at night. You're like, wait, what just happened?
Am I on a different site?
Oh, okay, cool. Any other questions or interested areas to peruse?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
nice.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you,
and
guys.
congratulations. Nice work.
Thanks. Thank you.
Stacy?
Yes, sir.
One thing that I want to throw out real quick is, we'd like to see if you guys individually would be interested in helping us out, kind of do a little focus group study on this site as we get ready to roll it out. We're probably not 100% there just yet, but we'll probably be there in the next few weeks. So if that's something that we can send a link to all of y'all, would y'all like to participate in that and give us your feedback as you can like actually click on things and walk through it? Is that something that we
Yeah,
can send them a link?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we really like that, if you'd be able to help us out with that. It's always good to have feedback, and, you know, y'all work in various parts of the industry, so it's always good to get a different perspective on things. So just kind of keep an eye out on your email, and we'll send you out a link in the next few weeks on that.
Well, you're asking a bunch of
Yeah,
marketing
well, and
people if
yeah.
we would like to
Yeah.
participate, and the answer would be yes.
Yes.
That's why I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. No, we appreciate the opportunity. Might be a tough crowd.
That's all right.
Just saying. Okay, very nice. We're going to move on to, is there any other new business? It's the only thing on the agenda, so I'm guessing no. We're going to move on to old business. I just had just a couple of things based on the minutes and with Mike transitioning out that I just want to make sure don't get lost down the road, if you don't mind. It wasn't a change in minutes or anything like that. It's just kind of like a reminder type thing. You know, we love the visitor tracking studies. One of the things that we had talked about, I'm on page 2 of the minutes from the last meeting. A couple of things, let's see. We wanted to be able to look at the breakdown of the increase in accommodations by accommodation type and category, because they're currently being grouped. And we did spend quite a bit of time, and multiple committee members asked about that. And we were told that moving forward, that we'd be able to break out the numbers individually, so you can see what's hotel, condo, different accommodation types.
In terms of the percentages, you mean the percentage of people that stay in condos versus hotels?
That, yes, and
I-
then specific to where we saw increases as well. Because
Mhm.
that was, it gave us we talked about the increase in inventory,
Mhm.
and so that kind of all led to, we want to be able to see where the inventory is, break it all out.
I'll make sure on that. I took a sneak peek at our fall visitor tracking last night, and they did have the accommodation types broken out in terms of condo, hotel, et cetera, and how that changed from year to year.
Okay.
And just real quick to add to that. So we have a new platform called Key Data. I'm not sure if some of y'all are familiar with that, but it's kind of like the star of vacation rentals. And so we are using them now, and Downs and St. Germain will be helping us extrapolate the information out of Key Data and put that into what they've already been doing. So we'll have stronger numbers, and we'll be able to demonstrate between those different market segments, if you will. So our data is going to get stronger with Key Data, and then we're also looking at doing something with STAR. So not sure if we have money in the budget for that for this year, but definitely something we want to add to the research budget for next year.
Fantastic.
Didn't we talk about also, like, the beach house has 8 bedrooms? That's not just one key, that's one key to 8 different bedrooms versus a hotel is one.
Yeah,
key to a hotel.
that's really hard for us, and I'm not sure if that's something that we can extrapolate out of Key Data, but it's definitely something we'll look at, so we can be able to tell that information. But currently, what we're getting from the clerk's office, we don't have that.
Okay.
But we'll definitely look at it when we kind of dig into it with Philip Downs as we start looking at that information. We just got access to that data about 2 weeks ago, so it's going to kind of be playing around with it a little bit just to kind of see what we can get out of it. But I think it's going to be really just information rich what we're able to get out of it.
Okay.
Just one or two other things based on the last meeting. We talked about keyword searches, and we had asked about the shareability of keyword searches that you guys are collecting, and we were told that you would be able to share that info along with booking conversions. I remember you asked that question.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, for one, I've heard a lot of times, that meeting specifically, we talked about how a lot of times people do not execute the process and then they make the phone call. So the conversion is interesting to know, but also just, it helps us developing sites. It helps us make better consumer sites for booking.
And then there was, in the director's update, Mr. Tusa said that they will continue to poll all partners to see how partners want to interact with Visit South Waltham, because we talked about that as such a strong, that's kind of like a focus with your strategic planning, how to help your partners specifically, and just want to make sure that you might as well just stay up.
I'll just stand up here so you can throw your questions. Get the spotlight. We are working on that. We have our first roundtable meeting next week with our accommodation partners. And then for the next couple of months, we'll be rolling out a few more meetings with restaurants and with attractions. And so we're working on that right now.
Fantastic.
He's buying me lunch next Wednesday.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Ron's coming.
Somebody's got to do it. That's my old business. Anybody else have any old business based on?
I just had one question, and you may, if you mentioned it, I apologize, but there was a conversation about the booking window and that whether the length of the windows actually changed, and Mr. Carrick had mentioned that there would be some new software that's going to be purchased and put in place. Could you give us an update on that?
I'm not 100% sure what he's talking about. I think he's talking about the Key Data software, because we'll be able to look ahead at what people are booking. So like I said, we're just now getting in there since we purchased that and, being able to see what's what, so we can look ahead for spring, we can look ahead for summer, because it will actually go in and into people's systems, kind of like the whole Book Direct thing, but just a little bit different as far as what it's looking at. But so we'll be able to say, okay, well, right now for bookings, we're at X number of percent for spring break. I haven't looked at it yet, and I'm not sure if David has had a chance. He was just out of town last week at a press trip, so I'm not sure if actually anybody's on staff has had an access to get in there and look around at it. That was going to be Mike's thing, but now that Mike's gone, it'll be somebody else's thing.
And that's how it'll be from now on. It's like, well, Mike was supposed to.
Oh, we already told him we were going to throw him under the bus, a few times.
That completely broke down. Well, that was Mike.
And you know what? He said he was okay with that.
You have to be. Any other old business?
I just want to make sure I understood it. We were just talking about occupancy, basically, percentages, and how that would be shared among the partners. Just to make sure I understood
Correct.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So that way we can look ahead with this key data. They go in, and all the people who are participating with them, and they have great participation in the market, they can look ahead and they can kind of then say, okay, well, there's right now X number of occupancy for this time of year. So we can go in, and if we want to say it's the third week in March, we can look at that right now and see what the occupancy is. So it's going to be a powerful tool. We're really excited about it.
So that be moving forward, we wouldn't be able to look back to 18 or 17 as kind of a pace report?
No, we should be able to look back as well. But I think that depends on the number of participants that Key Data had.
Okay.
They're building more and more as they go along. So I'm just not sure what information will be in there in the past. So really, I think the benchmark will be here moving forward versus now versus 6 months or a year ago. Because like I said, this is a fairly new product, and they've really got a lot of people to come on board in the past 6 months or so or a year. So I think it's really kind of where are we now, and then in a year from now we can look back and go, okay, well here we are now, where were we last year, where do we think we're going to be in 6 months or a year from now.
Right. Any updates on beach access, public beach access?
Yeah, there's
No,
always...
the land you were buying.
Yeah, there's, so beach accesses, right now we're looking at some properties for parking for beach access over in the 393 area. Not sure, I think the last meeting, we lost the Highland House property. I'm not sure if I gave you an update on that last meeting. Yeah, I think that had just happened. So I was unfortunate, but it is what it is. We'll move forward. So still looking for beach and parking parcels. So, I've got a couple of things that I'm behind the scenes working on right now. Not at liberty to discuss those just yet, but hopefully those will unfold in the next month or two. But always looking for properties. I'll share it with you now because we were talking about the TDC meeting next week. The council made a recommendation to the board at their meeting in October to look forward at doing a high impact penny, so implementing a fifth penny for the county on bed tax rentals. And so the board authorized me to write a letter to DOR to see if we qualify for that high impact penny. So I have done that, and we're waiting to hear back from DOR, which we expect to have an answer from that at the end of February. So if that is favorable, then it'll be up to the board to decide if they want to implement that. It requires a supermajority of the board. There is interest amongst the board members at this point. Obviously, that's why they asked me to write the letter. So we'll kind of see where that's going to be. But the intention for those funds is for additional beach access and parking, and then infrastructure improvements associated with those acquisitions. So that's kind of where we are right now with the whole beach access acquisition phase of where we are at the TDC.
You did get the one across from Stinky's, though, correct?
We got that, and we'll be breaking ground next month on that. That's been about 2.5 years in the making with permitting and planning. And it'll be nice to have a groundbreaking, and we'll actually be inviting y'all to participate as committee members as well as the TDC and the BCC. So look out for that email probably coming out in the next few weeks. Exciting news, we haven't had a groundbreaking on a regional beach access in quite some time in South Walton, so I'm really excited about that. And we hope to have that completed by the middle of summer. Any other questions for me while I'm here?
I guess that was the director's update.
I guess so.
Now for the director's update.
Yeah.
Jay, what's going on?
Let's see. No, I will say, though, real quick, really excited about the meetings that we're having, these roundtable meetings. I mentioned the one next week with our accommodation partners. We sent out invitations, and we have probably right now about 60% turnout, RSVPs for that. And so we're still working the phones to see if we can get more. But really excited about that. That's the whole purpose of these meetings, is to hear what's going on and how we can be of a benefit to our partners and how we can work together to move the tourism industry in South Walton forward. So really excited about that, looking forward to this one and then obviously the other ones in the subsequent months. So right now, that's the big thing that I'm looking forward to. Always like to have dialogue with our partners.
Partners are your best ambassadors.
Absolutely.
When they're happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, absolutely. We need to, that's what we exist for. I mean, how can we benefit our partners? How can we drive the economy in Walton County?
Anything
We
else for the
actually,
director?
we have two more directors, me and also me.
Oh, there's not enough room on his business card.
I'd like to introduce the Director of Marketing and Director of Communications, David Demrest. Quick look ahead at some of our business. Before I get into this, I was going to mention our fall visitor tracking info did just come in earlier this week. We're reviewing that, going to make sure that's in shape, and then sending it out to y'all. It looks really good. It's exactly my kind of report. The RevPAR was up, the length of stay is up, the money spent in market was up. So pretty good news all around there. Of course, we always put our research on our partner page, so everybody gets to see that. And then later, at the end of this week, we should have the 2018 Economic Impact Report. So we'll have that out there, and we use that to create a lot of our materials for in-market as well.
David, I know you're, like you said, it's all preliminary and everything, but I think it'll be interesting to see how Hurricane Michael impacted fall overall, because numbers were up in terms of bodies and reservations moved and that type of thing. But, you know, I just think it's going to be very interesting to see how that impacted our overall numbers.
Yeah, there was actually one of the responses that is in there that I was going to ask some follow-up questions about. Words people associate with South Walton, and we always get the great beaches, great food, great restaurants. And one of the ones that popped up this time was grateful for hurricane relief. And I'm unclear whether that was referencing people were over here and grateful to get some relief from hurricane damage, or whether people were grateful for the efforts that we've done to provide hurricane relief. So I'm going to dig a little deeper, answer those sort of questions, and then we'll share that info. But for sure, and there are a lot of different ways that can impact us. Obviously, we get higher occupancy rates, but how that affects what people are spending in the market, because that can go the other direction. And so it's good to have data. I really enjoy that stuff. I like sharing it with our partners and making that available. So we've got both those to look forward to. We just put out the new Visitors Guide. If any of you were at the Artist of the Year or Perfect Awards presentation. The previous Visitors Guide actually just launched in June of 2018, so that was our 18-19 issue. Because we moved everything to the top of the year, to the calendar year, and have a new Artist of the Year, have new Perfect Award winners, then we kind of had to work double time on this one. So we gave the cover a refresh and redesign. We included new photography. We updated the Artist of the Year and the Perfect Awards, and we updated the listings. But otherwise, there's not a tremendous amount of change. When we do the next Visitor's Guide at the top of next year, then it'll be more of a complete rebuild.
It's a beautiful piece.
It is.
Congratulations.
Very nice.
It really is very good looking. So I'm happy Zinder team helped us out a lot with that, as did Courtney, is our graphic designer, and Matt, our content creator. So it was a great team effort to put that together. And communications, just to take a quick high level, this is a look ahead at what I'll present to the board. The UMA Reef continues to do real well, the Underwater Museum of Art. We got that nominated for a USA Today 10 Best. Didn't get the votes, but we were able to get in the nomination and in the conversation, so that's good. We won a Silver Star in Communications for the Adrian Awards, which I got to actually go up to while I was already going up to the International Media Marketplace in New York. Worth noting that the marketing also won 2 bronze and a gold award for the Endless Summer campaign, the Winter Escapes campaign, and gold for their brand print campaign. So that was really cool to be able to participate in that. We've got in February a few planned media visits. It's a different time to do media visits. It's when our partners are happiest to see them. It's also a time to show them what we have to offer here off the beach. And when you see the research, our restaurants rank really highly as well and things to do. And so that's something I'm proud of South Walton for. We found a way to become a complete destination that way, and that really helps with year-round visitation. We're currently pitching meetings and incentive travel, as well as family-focused spring travel, new flight options, and of course our event listings. And to give you a shot of some of our wins, recently the National Geographic Traveler ranked us best trips around the world. We were in the New York Times related to tourism in recovery post-storm. Coastal Living, Best Christmas Town, Sport Diver Online. We've got a few of those. These tend to lag a little bit behind because we're always looking back a couple months. So I'm already excited about the covers that we have that I'll be putting in the next presentation. But this does continue to go really well, and I'm happy with the balance of it between the harder news sites, getting into that as a way of saying that we're still open for visitation, that we did very well and we're welcoming visitors and helping our neighbors. That's a great message to the standard beautiful beach coverage, to the architecture and all the things that make South Walton special, like the art. Here's how some of those looked in print, which is fun to see. And that is what I have for you today. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now. Nope.
Congratulations, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks very
Adrians are a
much.
big deal.
Yep. Very nice. Okay, all the directors' updates? Good? Okay. Committee comments? I think we've been kind of making them. Yes. And do we have public comment? Please. Approach.
Hi, good afternoon. My name's John Wellborn.
Hey, John.
My company's LiveWell 30A and Rent 30A. LiveWell's been a brand on 30A for 12 years now. We take care of thousands and thousands and thousands of guests each summer who come down who want bikes and beach chairs and beach fires and all the other things that they want. Consistently have gotten 30A Hotspot Awards and Perfect in South Walton Awards. 4 years ago, at the request of a group of VRMs here in town, we started building Rent 30A, which is also a booking platform. It took us about a year to build, and in the 3 years from the time it went live 3 years ago, tons of traffic. We now have 30 VRM partners here locally on 30A, and we are integrated with the top 3 property management software systems. Like I said, 28 to 30 VRM partners. I'd encourage you to maybe pull out your phone and check out our partner section, which is about 2/3 of the way down our homepage. But you'll see names like Wyndham and Sunburst and 30A Escapes, and the list goes on and on. Garrett Realty, the list goes on and on and on for our VRM partners. We feel like we've built exactly what the TDC might need. It's a product similar to what Jackrabbit offers. And my request today is that maybe you guys encourage the TDC to take a look at our product and reconsider what we've built. And like I said, we're local, right here in the backyard of South Walton, and we already have 28 to 30 VRMs already integrated in the site and are taking bookings live every day. So we feel like we built exactly what may be needed here. And certainly the TDC knows what they're doing, and unfortunately we've been communicating with Mike up to this point, who's no longer here, and I just met David for the first time today. But I would just ask that the committee encourage the TDC to reconsider taking a look at what we've built and consider maybe giving us a shot before they go live with Jackrabbit, or at least give us a chance to do a comprehensive presentation to show exactly what we built and how we think it's better, and again, the fact that we're already working with a lot of your partners already. Any questions?
Is your site mainly, it's Rent 38 with vacation rentals, does it also include hotels? Because it's kind of the one side with Jackrabbit that incorporates any type of lodging accommodation, whether you're a condo or a hotel or a rental.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can we don't have any hotels on the site yet, but and that's probably been strategic up to this point, but absolutely we could include hotels as part of the listings.
Are there any fees associated for the end user?
The end user, so the guest, the traveler?
No, the accommodations partner.
Yeah. So they do pay a subscription now. So they have the choice to either pay a subscription or a percentage of their commission. So they have the choice to pay an upfront fee or an ongoing fee as we generate bookings. But that's yeah. The answer is currently yes, but we'd certainly be open to a different arrangement if it was through the TDC, where we could either charge the TDC a fee, or we could charge advertising, or there'd be several different ways we could do it.
Just one point that I know that with us, I'm with the Hilton,
Mhm.
and we have to follow what brand tells us to do. And so I know like Jackrabbit is an approved vendor for us to be able to use.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be something that, unless it's approved, we would not be able to participate in.
What does that approval process look like?
I've never actually had to do that. It's more on a corporate level, but I'm sure I could maybe poke around a little bit and let you know.
We'd be happy to, go through that process. Any other questions?
Well, I'll just say that I'm interested in learning more, and this is the first time I've heard of your company, and I think that from a timing standpoint and the window of trying to launch, the product within the website and everything, I'm not sure that we've got time to learn about it, go through a whole presentation thing, because we're like ready to launch this one. So, my take on it is that I'm sure that the committee members would like to learn more about it, and it may be an option at some point in the future, but I don't want to hold up the process of going live with what we've got going on right now.
Sure. We were featured in a VRM Intel is one of the leading industry publications, and we were featured in that magazine today. We've had 8 other markets reach out to us, and as far as timing goes, it takes us about 48 hours to launch a new site. And really, this site's already built. The Rent 38 thing is already built. It could be folded right. I don't think timing is at least on our end, it's no issue at all. We've created the site where it can be. In fact, we'll launch 12 new markets in the next 3 months, including Gulf Shores and Orange Beach and Breckenridge and Vail. So timing on our end is a very quick process, especially when you consider that we're already integrated with about half of your VRM partners. That work's already been done for at least half of them.
Yes.
Hey, John, since Mike was kind of leading this, I'd be happy to meet with John the next few days. This is on the BCC agenda for Tuesday's meeting, for the following Tuesday's meeting. So we have about a week and a half. So I'll be happy to meet with him before we put those agenda items together. And if kind of the recommendation that Mike made to me kind of stands, then we'll just kind of move forward as we have been. If I feel it's something we need to address further, then we can look a little bit more in depth in it. But I'll be happy to have a conversation with John about that.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. And look, that's all we were looking for, is just some consideration. Up to this point, there's been almost zero. And maybe that was because Mike was trying to transition out. But our feeling was, we feel like we built exactly what you're looking for. We're local, we're right in your backyard, and we're already partnered with 30 of your partners. So that's all we're looking for. Is we felt like I hate to use the word deserve, but felt like should at least be given some more consideration given what we've built and what we've been able to accomplish in the last 3 years. So thank you, Jay. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Wellborn.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? All right, we're going to adjourn. Thank you.